Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. In this one we're going to be doing stock analysis on Spotify, which is ticker SPOT. Firstly, why is it trading up near enough 7% today? Reason for that is Apple have said that brands such as Spotify, Netflix and all of those can start having third-party links within their websites, meaning that they don't have to charge subscribers more. Which may lead to more purchases. I think it had it here, but it will basically provide these kind of companies to bypass the 30% charge that Apple charge if you pay through the App Store. So firstly, we're on a clean chart, as you can see here. We have created a gap, which means we will most likely pull back at some time and cover that gap. But to get into more the standard deviation way and what we can see where pullback areas are likely, where we are right now is actually a high probability of a pullback. As you can see on the 4 hour, we've done strong momentum but have now came into the first deviation at around 252. When this happens, you usually get a large pullback, and as you can see, actually intraday it came into it, did quite a decent pullback before breaking through and continuing up. However, yes, you do see them intraday, but you also tend to see them on a daily time frame as well. So what I can see happening on here is we will pull back most likely from around this 52-55 area, either tomorrow or maybe early next week, and our pullback area, usually I would look to go into the half deviation, but what's maybe more realistic is just filling this gap around the 242 to around the 239 area, just kind of an area I would personally be looking out for. Now you can see also today we did break through the statistical mean at around 246 and are holding above it, so that also does indicate strong momentum to the upside. So if we do get a pullback on this standard deviations, we will most likely come back, statistical mean, kind of just retest it, also probably fill this gap and then continue upwards. If we continue upwards, what are our price targets? We have around 285.50 a key target, 294.25 key target, and those are the ones that we'd probably see within the next week or so. However, if it does continue to go up and continue being bullish, 325 key level, 336.50 key level. Don't really see it going past that even within the next few months. However, if it does, 363, 378 and 402. The 379 and the 402 level, if Spotify does come there and you're long, if you are for some reason still long at that area, a great area to be locking in profits, and maybe if you don't mind trading short, a good area to start getting short. Now to the downside, if we do for some reason break downwards, I'll quickly just give some price targets just so you have some good areas maybe to start getting long if you're looking to. So 167, 168, good long area. It also matches up with the second deviation on the daily, so would most likely be a strong bounce area, and will probably provide upside to around the $200 mark. So would provide at least, or should provide at least a 20% upside. 207 though is a more realistic pullback area where we could see it coming to. And get a bounce. You can see it did this previously coming into here. However, we have retouched the statistical mean and on the 4 hour touched a higher deviation. So when it does pull back, we will most likely get another bounce. So those would be our key targets. I'll quickly go over what I see happening in the near future. Just give you some insights. If you only want to price targets, there you go. So obviously we're at this 252 statistical mean right now. What do I see happening from here? Most likely a pullback to these 242 to 239 area, fill the gap, retest statistical mean before continuing up. I do think once we fill this, we will most likely continue up quite strong and would most likely come and test this 285 to 295 levels. This would also kind of come into this area, which would allow us to test this high and also come into this resistance here. And as you can see, statistical means do tend to line up with key areas of support and resistance, and that's why they tend to work so well, because whether people are using statistical deviations or not, their areas of support and resistance tend to line up. So that is definitely a key area. If we do break through this area and can hold above it, we would most likely break up higher to the 324 to 336 level. However, I don't really see it getting past there, at least in the near future, just because in a short amount of time, obviously that would be a crazy amount of momentum. So if it comes into these, that's when I do see us maybe having a pullback, retesting these 294s, and maybe continuing down lower. But if for some reason we do break through it again, we would probably get the same reaction coming to here, probably get a small bounce off each of these levels, before getting that proper full pullback, most likely at the higher 379. Actually, we'd probably have the main pullback at 363, because that's the third deviation on the daily. You don't really see large caps getting to those levels, and if they do ever break through, you never really see them above the 4. Very, very unlikely that you see a stock above the 4th deviation. So if they ever do come into there, definitely a good area to maybe start getting short. So those are our kind of price targets. And I'll quickly just explain what I mean by you don't see stocks going into these 4th deviations much. And a great example of this would be actually Moderna. The reason this one was, the charts do change, but Moderna was coming into, actually it might have been Pfizer then, was coming into the 4th deviation. As soon as it touched the 3rd, it had a big pullback, retested into the 4th deviation, and pulled back very heavily. Okay, yes, I do think these were on the 4th deviations. I think the charts have just changed. I think I made an analysis video on Pfizer, so you can check that out and you can see exactly where the levels were. But what usually would happen if you do come into the 3rd deviation is you would get this kind of test, you pull back, a very strong pullback, take you to either the half deviation or the deviation lower, and then if you do retest and break through, you usually get a strong pop of momentum into that 4th deviation, as we did here. And once you hit that 4th deviation, very, very unlikely that you'll continue upwards, and you get a strong pullback that usually turns into a more bullish move that doesn't, well, just stays bullish. You don't get a kind of a break of an all-time high or 52-week high. So that is just a key thing to look out for on Spotify if it does continue up over a long distance of time. But all the price targets are there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.